So boom, let's break the ice. So my objective here is to re-engineer the flawed ideology. The banker institutions, quote unquote, manipulate the markets to only exploit retail traders for profits. Now you're probably wondering exactly where is this guy going with this, right? So when I very first started trading the foreign exchange market, the only reason I ever known a banker institution to manipulate the foreign exchange market or retail traders in specific is because my mentor told me that, their mentor told them that, and their mentor probably told them that, and as you could guess, the list continues. Now, the crazy part about this is none of them ever actually worked at a banking institution, or more or less traded the foreign exchange market at a banking institution. And then I guess at that part of my trading journey, it just never made sense to me why a bank or institution trading millions or billions of dollars would necessarily need to manipulate this guy out of a .01 micro. But to say the least, right, this flawed ideology has therefore manipulated the retail industry into a subjective style of learning with the intentions to either trade like the banks or understand where they supposedly build liquidity in the markets to only exploit retail traders. So I got a question for you. Have you ever correlated two pairs such as GBP USD and EUR USD, or any base pair that quotes the US dollar, and notice how these pairs create the same exact catalyst in the market during the same exact time? Now, if I pull up this chart here, I have GU and EU right here beside each other, and I just want you to notice how both of these charts at the same exact time in the market create the same exact catalyst. For example, here at 8 p.m. Eastern on GU, here at 8 p.m. Eastern on EU. Here at 8 p.m. Eastern on GU once more again, 8 p.m. Eastern here. 11 a.m., 11 a.m., 7 a.m., 7 a.m., 3 p.m., 3 p.m., 9 a.m., 9 a.m. Now, once I actually noticed this, the question that I asked myself was, are the banks really that good? Or is there some driving force behind this that I'm just wasn't privy to at that particular time, which then led me to find the equation that makes up the US dollar index, right? Which consists of EU, UJ, GU, USD CAD, USD SCK, and then USD Swiss franc. If we go to the chart, and on each one of these pairs here, if we pick the same exact time on each one of these pairs, so for the sake of this video, I've picked, this is on September 26th, so you can actually back test this as well if you like. I picked 9 a.m. Eastern time. So each one of these points, you can see EU was 9.96819, UJ was 143.862, GU was 1.08903, USD CAD was 1.36238, USD SEC was 11.23020, and then USD Swiss francs was 0.98531. Now, if we go to the DXY and then here, and we plug all of these numbers into this equation, right? So EU, UJ, GU, USD CAD, USD SEK, and then USD CHF, all of these into this equation, right? At 9 a.m. Eastern, we should get 113, right? Now, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna do this live. So if I copy this, copy, I'll go here to this chart, go up here, and I press paste. Paste that math equation into Google. What do we get? 113, 10456. So if I take the decimals of this, and go back to the DXY, the line here, 13, put these decimals here, we end up here. Which then led me to the point to believe that the flawed ideology of banks manipulating the markets has therefore manipulated retail industry into this subjective style of learning. Now, what exactly do I mean by subjective at this point? If you and I both went to GU, and for the sake of this video, and I said, okay, where exactly is liquidity in the market, right? And if you ever notice that everyone has a different example as far as liquidity in the market, there's never no concrete answer as far as liquidity. If you actually understand, the banks and the institutions do not actually manipulate the market, yet instead they control monetary policy. It actually affects the dollar value of any economy, and then which then correlates to this equation, which then controls this market. And knowing that you can actually build things such as liquidity, and since this is a constant, you can make your liquidity targets constant. Now, the problem with this subjective style learning is that when these concepts fail to work, and none of these guys can seem to answer why. And when I mean why, I mean questions such as why your trend line may have gotten broken, or why your support and resistance didn't hold, or why your stop loss got liquidated, or why your supply and demand zone failed. And then retail traders then default to believe that those failures was because we execute in an environment based on probabilities, and that just happened to be the one instance where the odds didn't fall in your favor. Now, considering that the second half of that statement is actually true, it still fails to answer those questions. So if you just happen to be a trader, victim of trading any of those subjective strategies, such as support and resistance, Wyckoff, smart money concepts, trend line, and nobody can seem to answer the question as to why those strategies may not be working for you, profit, because I was there. But what I'm here to tell you today is I've created an objective approach to the market, right? 4 simple pillars that I use to trade the foreign exchange market that are very effective. Very first thing is the Forex algorithm, which therefore is the heart and the engine. It sets the narrative of the market. From there, you'll learn your constant liquidity targets, which never change from hour, day, week to month, and which essentially is set the intention of the market. You understand where liquidity is actually engineered and the market needs to go. Right? From there, you'll actually understand the art of timing, one of my favorite subjects, because you'll understand why time is so much more important than price. And last but not least, the true anatomy of candles. You'll be able to trade any time frame from a 1-minute perspective. Sounds crazy, but let's go to the chart.